Dalin Tzu Chi Hospital has created a messenger LINE app that provides 6 functions for patients. Beijing Tzu Chi volunteers conduct home visitations in preparation for winter aid distributions. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. With the advancement in technology, Dalin Tzu Chi Hospital integrated technology with medical services. They have created a special messenger LINE app that provides residents with medical conveniences. This new app consists of 6 major functions, making it more convenient for those who are seeking medical attention. Let's take a look.
Communication software is popular and many people use it to make calls or send messages. Now it can also serve as a health secretary. Dalin Tzu Chi Hospital integrates smart medical services to provide residents with medical convenience on Messenger LINE app.
We designed our HIS medical information system and integrated it with LINE app so when the residents take out their phones, they can see the information they need due to their notification services.
Dalin Tzu Chi Hospital's medical system using the LINE app provides 6 main services, such as registration, health management, medical application, progress check, etc. Residents can also ask questions before the consultation by sending messages about the questions they want to ask. When they return to the clinic, they can discuss the questions in detail with the doctor.
With this function on the LINE app, it's more convenient to see a doctor, since I can check any information I want to know. So when I have to visit 3 departments on the same day, I don't need to go to another clinical room to ask when it's my turn.
When medical services are integrated with technology, seeking medical attention is no longer a troublesome business.
In recent years, the act of exercising regularly has been popular. It is recommended that everyone should take part in some kind of physical activity at least 3 times a week for 30 minutes. Although exercising is great for maintaining good health, it is not suitable for everyone. Everything needs to be evaluated before starting a regimen. Here's more.
Hiking trails are a good way to a healthy lifestyle.
登顶大概160、170。会不会太喘？160、170。还好习惯了。
Some people use actual devices, but others use their senses.
It's because I already had a heart condition, so I cannot walk long distances. Whenever I start wheezing, I need to stop, and I cannot continue physically.
Exercising, running, swimming, or just regular exercising, the National Health Department states that your heartbeat needs to be around an average of 130 beats per minute.
看你运动到会不会喘。
You need to see if when you exercise, are you out of breath? That is a sign you have a problem with your lungs. If you cannot even say a word when you are exercising, you need to get a checkup.
好，但是你没办法讲一整句话。
Exercising self-awareness. Heartbeat between 120 to 140 beats per minute is considered to be medium intensity, where talking is slightly forceful and singing is non-existent. If it's between 140 to 170 beats per minute, it's considered high intensity, where talking is very challenging. When we exercise, it's mostly to boost our metabolism, control our weight, and to avoid any chronic diseases. But how do we know for certain everything is working?
回去抽血。
You need to go back for more blood work and urine samples. If nothing has improved, there needs to be another treatment plan for you.
Sports therapy and intense physical therapy isn't for everyone. It depends on the age of the patient. It is always wise to consult with your own personal physician for the best course of action.
Trigeminal neuralgia is also known as the world's worst pain. The odds are 4 to 5 people out of 100,000 individuals. Most of these cases are not able to be treated by medicine. Doctors recommend don't just take the pain, take action to find out what exactly is causing your pain.
The pain is so great that it feels like your whole face is twisting in all directions. The culprit is actually your trigeminal nerve due to aging or an infection. This is why when you are in a windy conditions, drinking water or eating ice, it could all lead to your cheeks, forehead, or chin to be in intense pain. This is often misdiagnosed as teeth problems.
Sometimes it's exactly like a toothache, like the kind when your teeth are super sensitive to hot or cold liquids. There are many causes for trigeminal neuralgia. It might be having a tumor, shingles, or scleroderma.
There are many causes as to why someone feels pain. The most classic example is vascular compression nerve syndrome, a virus infection, or having a brain tumor. The best way to figure out what is causing your pain is to do an MRI. The first line of defense in treatment is taking the right types of medication, then surgery is another option.
Let's say your original pain problems have all been ruled out, but you still continue to feel immense pain for over 3 to 6 months. Then it will be considered to be chronic pain. This type of diagnosis often will cause the patient to experience many different types of psychological issues, depression or sleeping problems.
Even if the patient has a high pain tolerance, the continuous pain experience will deteriorate his or her quality of life. It is highly recommended to go to a pain specialist and get the proper treatment.
According to Kaohsiung City Medical Association, the incidence rate for brain tumor in Taiwan is about 5 to 7 per 100,000 people. A patient in Taipei City lost all energy in his left foot, and the doctor found it was due to a brain tumor.
60-year-old Mr. Yang suffers multiple headaches in a month, as well as memory loss and other symptoms in his left foot.
我已经受不了了，已经好像这个针好像是刺到这里了。
I can't take it anymore. It's like a needle is thrusting me here. It's almost like I can't speak, I can't see, and I can't even walk or stand up.
要走的话没有办法走，也就是坐着站不起来。
After he went to the doctor, he found out there's a 7-centimeter tumor in his right brain that occupies the frontal, temporal, and parietal lobes, causing his brain stem to be imbalanced and screwed.
脑干又特别重要，它就是管我们。
The brain stem is especially important because it is in charge of our breathing, blood pressure, and the auto control of our body. We are afraid that the location of his tumor may cause a sudden brainstem failure, which may lead to serious degeneration of his body functions as well as losing consciousness.
The doctor reminds that there are some symptoms to be aware of if you're experiencing chronic headache, dizziness, vision blur, hearing loss, face numbness, arms and feet energy loss, or movement imbalance. Then it might be signs of brain tumor, and you should go to the doctor as soon as possible to have a thorough check.
Taipei CG Hospital officially opened in 2005. The hospital's landscape, as well as the driveway paved with interlocking bricks, has been used for more than 10 years. Many places can no longer be used because of damage from heavy vehicles. Therefore, CG volunteers in northern Taiwan undertook a renovation project. Let's join them there.
Moving interlocking bricks to the bulldozer by hand, these volunteers in northern Taiwan have mobilized to help with the renovation work associated with Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital.
Vehicles enter and leave the hospital frequently. There are also heavy vehicles going in and out. We move these interlocking bricks because they are very old, so we are repairing the bricks in the whole area.
It's not an easy task to move all of these 7,500 bricks. Volunteers believe the first step is cleaning and repairing the bricks by hand.
We dug the interlocking bricks out from the ground, and then we cleaned the dirt on the surface of the bricks to extend their lives.
In the process, I think it's like brushing away our habitual tendencies. Although we can use a hammer to remove the dirt on the brick, actually we still need to clean the dirt in the seams with patience.
After removing clay that is stuck on the bricks, volunteers then wash them with water.
Through this work, being able to serve other people in the society makes me feel very happy.
The interlocking bricks not only bring the Tzu Chi family closer together, but it also builds harmony in the relationship between the doctors and patients in the hospital.
In China, Tzu Chi volunteers have begun preparations for the upcoming winter aid distributions. Beijing Tzu Chi volunteers have traveled to Yi County of Hebei Province to conduct home visitations. Despite the rain, 55 volunteers have visited 231 households.
In April, Tzu Chi Beijing volunteers started their home visits ahead of the annual winter aid distributions in northern China. During the visit, they met up with an elderly couple from 8 years ago. The small village streets are even more challenging after a raining spell. A new volunteer, Zhao Hao, from Inner Mongolia, used her camera to document all the heartwarming moments from the visits.
When I see the backpacks of the volunteers all drenched and stepping in mud, it is a sense of gratitude and admiration for them during the home visits process. It really is selfless giving.
Rural life is hard, but it is the traditional way of life for the elderly. When the volunteers conduct interviews on home visits, they're actually the ones gaining more knowledge and wisdom in the process.
Whenever I see the elderly struggling in poverty, it really hits me hard. I really realize that I'm the lucky one. I even feel like at times that I have not given enough and that I'm too late.
31-year-old Li Bo, left arm has been amputated, but it does not affect his compassion for others. Over the course of 2 days, he has been carrying the gifts for the villagers.
I kept holding onto the bag of gifts yesterday, and it was quite heavy. If you just think about how much you are carrying, you'd be annoyed and tired. There is so much more meaning behind the gifts that I felt like I was doing the society a great service. I was very happy that I could be useful to this organization at this specific time of need.
After Tzu Chi volunteers in Shanghai conducted their winter aid distribution in northern Jiangsu, 50 volunteers recently went to 5 different towns and villages to care for orphans. Volunteers hope that by visiting and caring for them, they can bring love and warmth to these children.
Tzu Chi volunteers have prepared gifts as they are ready to visit 58 orphans and their families. One can hardly imagine that there are so many orphans in the small town of Siyang. The 6-year-old boy generously goes out to welcome volunteers. Having no parents when he was born, his innocent smile makes people's hearts go out for him. His grandfather cannot let go of his daughter's suicide, causing him to always have a sorrowful look. In order to celebrate his grandson's birthday, Mr. Ji, who has mobility issues, struggled to buy a cake in town. His son died of liver disease and his daughter-in-law has left home. Although he is already 79 years old, he is still worried about his grandchildren. As there is a generation gap between grandparents and grandchildren, the volunteers decided to invite them to do activities together. The seniors who originally had a worried frown finally showed a smile. Serving tea to elders is the most touching moment because it shows that their grandchildren have learned to take care of themselves.
In Indonesia, there's a mosque, Masjid Lao Tzu, that cultivates Chinese Muslims. Although Chinese is a minority in Indonesia, they play an important role in spreading Islam. There's a Chinese Muslim who's a student at Masjid Lao Tzu. He showed us the responsibility to provide counseling for Chinese Muslims. Here's our report. Although Chinese is a minority in Indonesia, they play an important role in spreading Islam. PITI, founded in 1961, is an organization that has cultivated Chinese Muslims. Many Chinese people become Muslims after they marry Muslims. Here, people can gain a deeper understanding of Islamic ideologies.
This organization has been around for a long time. Before it came to Indonesia, Islam has spread to China in the 7th century. Therefore, there's a saying, we seek knowledge from China.
Although Islam has spread to China first, Chinese people in Indonesia who believe in Islam feel discrimination at the beginning. Naga Kunandi has become a Muslim in 2002. After studying on his own for a long time, he has joined Masjid Lao Tzu in Jakarta, providing counseling for Chinese Muslims.
In the past, I had a hard time finding information about Islam. After joining Masjid Lao Tzu, I shouldered the responsibility to answer questions.
Islam has appeared in China for more than 1,300 years. It has been spread to Beijing for more than 600 years. The history of Islam in China is in fact longer than that of Indonesia.
Jadi Islam itu lebih dulu masuk di Cina. Jadi saya katakan agama.
I think religion is to be practiced in life, so we need to have a deep understanding of it. We should cherish and respect each other and interact with others regardless of religious beliefs.
Jangan kita bergaul karena agama.
At Masjid Lao Tzu, which is a place of worship for Muslims, the building is of Chinese style. Inside the mosque, there's Arabic as well as Chinese calligraphy. Here, different cultures and religions coexist in harmony. Executive Director of Global Tzu Chi Volunteers, Stephen Huang, brought U.S. headquarters board member team and members in charge of the Beijing Tzu bookstore to visit Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter. The schedule was packed, but everyone had great discussions.
Executive Director of Global Tzu Chi Volunteers Stephen Wang brings U.S. headquarters board member team and members in charge of the Beijing Tzu bookstore to visit Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter. They really saw humanistic spirit in the medical mission.
Home care can expand our medical services, so I think we should work toward that goal in the U.S.
They changed after watching DaAi television, and you really did a great job on the programs. I hope when we get back, we can put more efforts into bringing humanistic culture in our clinics in the U.S.
In the education center, they see the hope for the future.
We are planting the seeds and cultivating the trees. The entire Tzu Chi world is basically about education to purify the world. If everyone's heart is pure and the society is peaceful, the world can be free from disasters.
The three-day visit made the schedule very tight, but through the interactions, everyone has learned a lot from each other and found the same direction.
What I felt from my heart is that the brothers and sisters here in Penang really carry a sincere heart in following the Master's path. I feel very touched by the sincerity and respect from them.
After Typhoon Morakot in 2009, many disaster areas in Taiwan have yet to recover. One must recall that Shaolin Village was totally buried overnight with debris. Furthermore, the Central Cross Island Highway has yet to be fully restored. These issues have led many people to consider whether more reform of land policy is needed.
This is Nantou County Road 89 from Wusa traveling to Lisan. The slope is too extreme, as even this four-wheel drive vehicle has trouble.
This slope is too steep and it's even hard to drive up. So we have traveled half the way here in this four-wheel drive, and we have to get off and walk the rest of the way. The car will have to go on without us.
Traveling the rest of the way on foot, we find the entire top of this mountain is a cabbage field. And if we turn around, the scenic vista has been transformed by this illegal farming. At the end of Nantou County Road 89, we can see Fusosan Farm, and below it, where there are many houses, is Lisan. It looks like a small European village surrounded by beautiful scenery. Unfortunately, farming and pollution is threatening this environment. Between the Xueshan Mountain Range and Central Mountain Range is the Pianan Depression, which stretches from the Zhousui River, the Beigang River, the Daja River, and the Lanyang River. All these areas have seen overuse.
On both sides of Xueshan and Central Mountains, at an altitude of 1,500 to 2,000 meters above sea level going to the east, we can see that nearly all of these mountain tops are bare.
Deforestation around Deji Reservoir has surprised many people as it disrupts the natural scenery. The vast majority of the land in this area is public land. Typically, farmers can only rent land, and there are few legal farmers as most have exceeded regulations.
Agriculture countries have more cases of overuse, and it can be hard to rectify. There are few funds for reforestation, as 20 years ago 1 hectare would be about $50,000. Now it is a little less, so we still have excessive use in some areas.
According to the Soil and Water Conservation Bureau, the amount of excessive use of slopes totals 4,000 hectares, Nantou County, Jiayi County, and Taichung City being the worst affected areas.
Nantou has the most with about 2,400 hectares of land that is being overutilized, and second is Jiayi County, which has over 840 hectares of land that is overutilized, and third is Taichung City. This used to be Taichung County, which had about 570 hectares.
However, the actual figure may be far more than this, as there are illegally occupied state-owned forest lands, and the recovery of these areas is vital to the security of the forest. For example, in Lisan, more than 80% is protected forest land, which is managed by the Forestry Bureau. About 20% of the land is indigenous land and farmland associated with the Veterans Affairs Council. But such lands are administered by the Ministry of the Interior, Ministry of Economic Affairs, the Ministry of Transportation and Communications, and even local governments. Even Taipei has some authority over this land, which makes administration very difficult.
Lisan and the Qingjing Farm are administered by the municipal government, which feel pressure when it comes to administration. But we still have the authority to execute according to the law, such as illegal construction, which can be administered by the Construction and Planning Agency.
Many of these old problems continue to take place as there has been no soil and water conservation measures put into place in these areas. Some of the roads used to access these fields are exacerbating the problem.
After clearing the forest, the number of embankments increased 10 times, and with the road opening, the number rose 100 times. Actually here, it is more than 100 times, as after opening the road, there has been even more development, which is making the condition more serious.
After doing agricultural cultivation, you are running the risk of losing topsoil, and in some areas you have to do some rehabilitation, which may not be possible.
More and more landslides in the Lisan area continues, but even more frightening is that the phenomenon of roads collapsing. As for now, the section from Guguan to Lisan, the most important section of cross-island highway, is still closed. Some tribal villages between 10 and 20 hectares may be lost, with cumulative displacement being more than 2 meters. Intensive cultivation of fruits and vegetables in these areas, such as Qijing area, as well as large number of sightseeing activities and more camping sites, leading to greater risk in these geologically sensitive areas. Follow our story tomorrow as we study this risky situation.
Tzu Chi's parent-child class in Neihu and Tzu Chi Youth Basketball League recently visited Rengai Nursing Home in New Taipei City. Through a variety of activities, they brought much joy to the seniors. We'll leave you with these images at the end of our program. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.